The time has come for the second Eternal Derby of the season between Red Star Belgrade and Partizan Belgrade. This time it's going to be played at Rakomitic Stadium, Maracana, whatever you want to call it. As the standings currently are, Partizan is 5 points ahead of Red Star Belgrade. So anything other than a win is pretty much done and dusted, in my opinion. Basically what happens is, there's 16 teams in the league. After 30 matches, you split the table in half, and the top 8 play each other, bottom 8 play each other. The bottom 2, I believe, are relegated, and third last goes into a playoff against third place from the second tier, which is the Prva Liga. And the same thing happens with the top of the table. Points get split into half, everyone plays each other, and then there's the champions is announced after the playoff. So, like I said, this is a must-win for Red Star, in my opinion. 5 points behind. You win here, you're only 2 points behind, and then you still have the playoff, and a lot can still happen within the league with whatever the remaining schedule is. Partizan still has some tough matches. Red Star's kind of struggled since the start of the second half of the season. Pretty poor against Trukarički, where we kind of tested out 2 strikers in Pavkov and Ohi. We ended up winning 3-0, but it kind of overshadows that the team didn't play very well. Radnički Niš match in the cup, ended up winning on penalties. In PKs anything can happen. And against Proletar last week, we ended up winning 2-1, a late game winner from Milan Pavkov. I think he scored in like the 84th or 85th minute. The team just hasn't looked very sound since the start of the second half of the season. We're going to need to play much better. Partizan is playing currently way better than us. They're still in the Conference League. They just defeated Sparta Prague. Congratulations to them going forward. And yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting derby, because I think Partizan will attack Red Star because we just haven't played that well, and I think a lot of our weaknesses have kind of been exposed. The right back situation with Piccini, who we brought in for Valencia, he's kind of getting into things, but I haven't been impressed with him so far in I think he's played 2 of the 3 matches. Haven't been totally impressed with him, to tell you the truth. And with Rangers coming soon, he's going to have to, kind of speed it up and get into form. Gajic and Gobelic are still waiting in the wings. They're the alternate right backs for Piccini. I think the pivot of Sonogo and Kanga hasn't been that great either. But then again, honestly, as a whole, I don't think the team has played well at all. Oki's been okay, I would say, for the most part. There's still a glaring weakness on one of the wing positions. And again, I don't really say right wing or left wing, because the players do rotate quite a bit. They change wings, they change positions. So I don't usually label it like left or right wing. Motika is back in training after picking up a minor injury. So Red Star beat Bask Beograd, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, 4-0 in like a friendly, where Falco scored Nikola Stankovic and there was an own goal. But he did feature in that match, and he's been in training, so fingers crossed that he's ready to go for the derby. I would be surprised if he starts. In terms of bonus players, like the players under 21 years of age, Erakovic is going to start alongside Dragovic. I think it's just going to be a standard 4-2-3-1. I wouldn't put it past Stankovic to go with 3 at the back, something that he's played with more so in Europe, and even 5 at the back. But Ludogorets, I think was a 3 center back system, if I'm not mistaken. But those were kind of under special circumstances, because I think we had 4 or 5 guys who had coronavirus, and we had a player or 2 injured. So he kind of didn't have too much to work with, so he just kind of he just had to deal with whatever was out there. Let me say this, I wouldn't be surprised if Crnic starts on one of the wing positions. Stankovic consistently plays Crnic in big matches. I wouldn't be surprised if, it's Kata on one wing, Ivanic through the middle, and then Crnic on the wing, and then Ohi up top. I don't think he's going to go with a 2-striker system with Ohi and Pavkov. However, Pavkov as like a joker, as we say, comes off the bench. He's going to have a say in this match. He's going to play at some point 100%. I think Ohi starts over him as of right now. Although it's kind of hard to argue maybe Pavkov does deserve to start over Ohi. Do you maybe move, Ivanic and Kata in the wings and Ohi kind of behind Pavkov, where you go with like a 4-4-1-1 or something like that? We'll see. I think there will be a surprise in either the lineup or the formation. But like I said, I think it's just going to be a standard 4-2-3-1 system. In terms of the bonus players, I don't think there's much dilemma. It's going to be Rakovic, and you could pretty much fill out the entire lineup. I expect Piccini to start, and then Dragovic and Rakovic as the center backs. Rodic with his new contract is going to start at left back, and then you have Kanga and Sonogo as the defensive midfielders. And then I think I'm gonna have Srnic starting, and then Ivanic, Kataj, and Ohi up top. And like I said, in terms of players off the bench, Pavkov is one guy that you can kind of always count on to make a difference in the match. So I think whether Red Star is either up or down, he's going to get a chance at some point because of his aerial duels. I would attack the Partizan center backs. Vujacic has been really good. Maybe stay away from him a little bit, but if Srnic starts, I would go at him a little bit. The fullbacks, they have really good fullbacks. Zdjelar is like in the form of his life. He's been exceptional this season for him. There's talks that he could leave in the summer. I think that Partizan will make him a really good offer, and that he's going to stay with the club, because next year they're going to be fighting for either Champions League or Europa League football. So he's going to stay with the club. Question is who's going to stop Ricardo Gomez, who is the top goal scorer in the league. I think Dragovic that's going to be his task. Gomez has been exceptional this season for Partizan, scoring goals in the Conference League and the domestic league. So that's a tough task for either of the two center backs. I think it's very important not to give him space, which is something Dragovic does a lot when he defends. So I was looking at some of the numbers for Europa League, and Dragovic is one of the top players when it comes to blocking shots, and that's because he usually lets a player have space, and then he relies on almost like his blocking ability to get him out of trouble, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's the way he works. That's the way that he plays. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be a must-win for Red Star. Truly believe that. Loss pretty much signals to us that we're going to finish second, and then you kind of question what's going to happen with Stankovic's job, but I don't want to get into that. It's not really my thing to discuss right now. But I expect it to be a good derby. I think I saw a stat that says the last 6 or 7 have only featured, none of them have featured more than 2 goals a game, which with the firepower that the two clubs have, it's a little bit surprising, at least to me. But also shows you that the defending is top notch. And I think a lot of the times, to be fair, Red Stars won the league. I think it's like 4 or 5 times now in the last 4 or 5 seasons, but they're always so far ahead of Partizan in terms of points that they can settle for a draw in the derby. The first match during this season was Red Star could have had a 2-3 goal lead, and we just didn't take our chances. Felt like Partizan had one chance, they scored a goal, and then we had to leave it late for Kataj to score a headed goal, no less, which is exactly his strength, although he's been really good in that segment lately. But you can't do that. Derby days, you really have to come out from minute 1 and set the tempo and how you want to play. I expect Red Star to do that, especially being at home, especially chasing 5 points, which is something that we haven't had to do in the last, like I said, 4 or 5 seasons. In terms of what I think the result is going to be, prediction, I can see this finishing 2-2. And I know I said the stat about there not being many goals, but I can see this finishing 2-2 and it just staying at 5 points. And then, we have to pray that Partizan lose points against other teams and that we pick up maximum points, which is, the craziest part considering how much we have struggled in the second half of the season. We just have to stay healthy, and then, we have to pray that, we beat them in the playoff, and that they drop points in the playoff. So if you ask me for a prediction, I think this match finishes 2-2.